Welcome back. We are less than 200 days away from the election, and while the president is busy with a response to the pandemic, his campaign is busy gearing up for November 3rd. CBN chief political analyst David Brody talked with the campaign's director of strategic communications about its massive volunteer effort, along with criticism aimed at President Trump's handling of the outbreak.
You clearly believe you have an advantage from a virtual standpoint over Joe Biden, not just a bully pulpit, but what you're doing from a campaign standpoint?
Oh, there's no question. I mean, we already know we had the digital advantage from 2016, and all we have done is grow that presence even more. In fact, it's been widely reported and discussed how sophisticated the digital operation that we have is, and the way the campaign is organized under Brad Parscale. We are very nimble. We're very our ability to tailor our message, to reach out to people with messages that impact them is rivaled by no one. It is clearly above and beyond. And meanwhile, when you see Joe Biden still struggling, barely able to get a couple of 100,000 people, maybe on a good day, to watch any of his videos compared to our millions, and that's not even with the president, that's with people like me. When we can do that, we've got a pretty strong foundation of support.
Mark, some criticism for the president, obviously, on the coronavirus situation. The Pew Research poll just out in the last day or so saying that most Americans thought it was a bit slow to respond. I know China and the travel ban and all, I get all that. But this is what Americans are saying, at least in a pretty respected Pew poll. They're also saying that they're concerned that we may go a little too fast back to reopen the economy. How much of this is going to be on the president to make sure this goes well? Otherwise, that could be problems for the campaign going forward.
Well, it's always on. When you're the leader, when you're the elected official, it all falls upon you. And a lot of people, I think, are giving the president correctly praise for acting when he did to shut down travel from China in the affected areas, while at the same time you had the mayor of New York, you had Nancy Pelosi encouraging people to continue to go out and celebrate the Lunar New Year in their communities. You had obviously, a lot of problems with that, and the president was attacked for being xenophobic and racist by Joe Biden and many other people when he took that decisive early step. And I think as we start to come out of this, and as we see states emerging from the shutdowns, as we see the economy kicking back up, then I think people are going to realize that the way the president handled this was best for our public health and our economic health. And to be honest with you, when you're looking at that economy, that strong economy we had going into it, thank goodness we had a strong economy going into it. When you compare that with Joe Biden, and the architect of the slowest economic recovery since the Great Depression, I think a lot of people are going to say, we want the man who built the rocket ship to get us back on that rocket ship post-coronavirus, and that'll be easy choice with President Trump. So I think as more and more people emerge from this, they will have more comfort in the fact of how this was handled and how we're preparing for the next one, and that bodes well for President Trump.